Hey guys, how y'all doing? It's been a minute since I've talked to y'all. As y'all could see in the title, I've moved to Colorado. Yay! Yeah, I've gotten a lot of questions on why I've moved. It was a very sudden move. Not a lot of people knew. If you have me on social media, you kind of know what I'm going to be talking about, but nobody really knows why I moved. I always just tell people because of personal reasons, so on and so forth. I've had people think I was pregnant and that I was running away. It's yeah, let me just clear it all out right now. It's very complicated. I had a certain lifestyle in Dallas. I moved to Galveston. I was focused on my education and all of that, and I had a whole different lifestyle there because my schedule and my routine was different versus how it was in Dallas. So I went from Dallas lifestyle to Galveston lifestyle, and then I had to transition back to Dallas because I decided that I wanted to go back to school in Dallas. So when I moved back to Dallas, I had a hard time getting back into my routine because I really didn't like my old routine. I know my life could be worse. I know that my situation could have been a lot worse, but it was still rough. It was rough mentally. My life revolved around different people. My life had always been to take care of others before myself. And that's good. That's a good thing. There's just times where other people tend to take advantage of that. So there were certain people in my life that were taking advantage of my kindness, if that makes sense. And it got into the point where I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who or what I stood for anymore. So I wasn't showing myself a lot of self-care. I wasn't taking care of myself at all. I would try to from time to time. I was going to the gym. I even posted a video of me going to the gym. And that was after a very rough time with depression. So this past summer I had very bad depression. I was on certain medications that made my depression worse, and so I had to stop taking them, and it was a long, rough path on getting better. It's a very, very rough path, but I thank God for having the friends I had, because without them I wouldn't have been able to get out of that life that I was in. And yeah, so it was a lot going on when I came back from Galveston. And I started going to school. Coming this past fall semester, I started going to school. But yeah, I attended school and it wasn't what I expected. It was very difficult for me because of the way I was living my life. I was living my life for other people, and I didn't have time for myself. I would try to make time. I would try to push myself to be better, and somehow I still got pulled back. So there was that, and I've slowly gotten better. And that's perfectly fine. Sometimes we have to do things for ourselves to become better. And I wanted better for myself, but other people wanted me there for them. And it's never okay to keep someone at your grasp just because you want them there. If you really love someone, you're going to let them be who they are. You're going to support every decision they make. You're going to be there for them. You're going to let them make mistakes. You're going to be supportive, because that's what I've learned what true love is, okay? Because sometimes we have to realize that we need better and we want better for ourselves. So I decided to make the bold decision to move, to want something more for myself. And ever since I was little, I've always wanted to travel. I wanted to explore. I wanted to see the world in every possible aspect. I want to enjoy different cultures. I want to become more rounded. I want to see the beauty in every type of person out there. And I officially made the plans to move maybe a month before I moved. So I moved here on January 9th of 2019. So yeah, no, well then maybe it had been a couple months when I really said I wanted to move, but I didn't tell nobody. So it was maybe around November, the beginning of November of 2018. I started saying, I don't want to live here. I don't want to be here anymore. Nobody respects me as who I am. Nobody knows who I am because I don't know who I am. And I was having a lot of like issues, and I started hating myself more. I was body shaming myself, which I've never had a problem with my body. I didn't like the way I look sometimes. I try to live a different lifestyle. I was like, I'm not gonna show my emotions anymore. Like nobody cares about me, so why should I care about them? Like I started being a different person. And that was a person where I felt, at the time, I was like, this is a new me. Like, this is going to be who I am from now on. Nobody's going to hurt me anymore. Like, I'm going to do me. I'm going to do whatever I want. And, like, right now, I feel like I'm going to do things for myself. No, I'm only going to let the people I want in. I'm not even going to let people push me anymore. But I'm doing it with a better attitude versus how I had my attitude before. It wasn't really healthy. Once I started deciding I'm gonna move, I started mentioning it to my cousin that lives here. She's out of town this weekend. I started mentioning it to her that I wanted to move, and she was like, okay, like, you know, my mom said it was fine, like, okay, you know, let's do it, blah blah blah. So I wouldn't really mention much to her about my situation at home. I just told her I was moving. And things started getting really, really rough with certain family members. And it got into the point where I wasn't talking to anybody anymore. I would just walk out my house. And as a 19-year-old in the area I grew up in, it was just like everybody walked out their house. Everybody did what they wanted. Everybody was always out late. And I couldn't, and I felt so unrespected because of the things I've done for those people. I felt like I wasn't being appreciated back. And I wasn't given the respect that I thought I should have deserved, especially when these people depended on me so much, and I still couldn't have time with my friends. But if it didn't fit their schedule, I couldn't go. And then they would get upset when I would go out late because that was the only time I was allowed to go. And so yeah, there was a lot of that going on. And I ended up getting a temporary job for about, it was 2-3 weeks. It was 2 weeks. 2 weeks. It was a full-time job. I was getting paid pretty good, but I decided to not say much about my job, except for with my closest friends, because I wanted that money to stay for me, for my trip. And I started saving up the money. I started buying boxes, and I started buying little stuff that I wanted, and here and there. And I guess now we're gonna talk about me moving. Certain people were in denial that I was moving. People were like, oh, she's not gonna do it. Like, she says she is, but she's not. Well, like, that's why I didn't want to say much to anybody, because a lot of people, well, certain people in my life I knew were not gonna be on board. Luckily, I had a huge support group. My friends are the best people in the entire world. A lot of them were very sad that I was leaving. To this day, they tell me that they're mad at me because I left. But they are completely on board with why I decided to leave. So I decided to leave because of my home situation. It wasn't a mentally healthy situation. So I decided to leave and focus on myself, my mental health, my health in general, because haven't been doing very well in my health. I decided to take this opportunity to make new friends, to explore a different place. I moved from Texas to Colorado. Like, the weather is very different to begin with. The people are very, very nice here. In Dallas, they have their attitudes. But I love my Dallas people. I will always love y'all. But here in Denver, Colorado, they're very nice and supportive. And since I've gotten here, which has only been about 20 days, I have gotten a job. I have lost some weight, and if you follow me on social media, I did do the military diet, the 3-day military diet. Very good diet, actually. I never posted my weight change, so I did the military diet for 3 days. It's a very strict diet, and people could lose up to 10 pounds. But another reason why I moved is because I do have some debt. I have some school debt. I have a couple things I have to take care of financially. So me being in Dallas, where I have my friends, where I have my siblings that I take care of, I knew for sure I wouldn't save up as much money as I would here. And I have a very good support team here, and I thank God for this. It's ever since I decided to move, everything has worked out perfectly, and I can only thank God for that, because if it was not in His will, if it wasn't His doing, something could have gone wrong. But so far everything has worked out amazing, and that's why it makes me happy to say that moving to Colorado was a very good choice for me. So I've probably just talked your ear off through all of that, but now I will show you a little, I guess, mini clip of our trip here. I will be posting a Snapchat story right now. And that was the Snapchat story from that day that I moved. And I also made a small video of some other stuff that happened throughout our trip here that I didn't really post, because I didn't post much, as you could tell. But here's another little video of that.
Get locked up, they gon' send me shit. Got a bag, I put it on your head, little bitch. Y'all broke ass nigga, can't tell me shit. L-O-V-E, that ain't me. M-O-N-E-Y, that's me. I don't trust y'all nigga for all I can see. See when we together, I love this mind. I ain't telling you to fucking devil. Don't need no guy, cause when I'm with you, you my heaven builder. I hope you never leave my side, separate, not ever. Hope you forgive me for the pain that I brought. Listen, I'm blood on us, slow down. Lying, that's my baby. With no makeup, she a 10. And she the best with that head, even better than Corinne. She know I'm running. She want the time we could spend. So tell me you're that somebody, girl.
the pressure change. This is what happens to a Cheeto bag when the pressure changes. I kind of want to pop it.
Niggas like a NASCAR.
But yeah, and my good friend that y'all saw there, I cannot thank God more for him. He is a real true best friend, and I love you, Gino. My other friends, they all had their own thing, so if they could have came with us, they would have, but because it was about a 12-hour drive, and we stopped a couple times, so yeah, there was that. And yes, I've been going to the gym. That's why we started that diet. Today's actually last night was my rest day. For the first time in like a week and a half. I don't post much about that, but